Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be reviewing on the book, I'll say summarizing chapter wise on the book by Sidney Sheldon on the other side of midnight. And the book starts out with Catherine, and it's a chapter wise. The whole chapter is in the name of Catherine, and it starts on Chicago 1919 to 1939. This will be based on this time period. And Catherine, she is 5 years old and she is the beautiful prettiest little girl over in that pub. Her father took her to this pub and he is taking a big glass of beer and she's having a lemonade with him, and his father is showing her off to all the pub goers and they are coming over and oohing at her beauty. And she kind of was scared and she tugged her hands on her father's arms and to make sure that he is with her all the time. That's one of the earliest memories where Catherine had with her father, and she is happy that her father came back after so many weeks because he is a traveling salesman and he doesn't stay with her for all those weeks. So she's happy, she's excited, and that is one of the earliest memories she has. So when Catherine, she doesn't have any fond memories of her mother. So she was in Chicago, she was happy, she's happy that her father got her presents and he is a very lively man. But she wanted him to stay with her as a father. She's a child and she wants her father to be with her all the time. So she even tried to bribe him that I don't want any more presents. You stay with me. You stay with me for every day, and I don't need any presents to be with me. I don't want you to give me presents. But that didn't work out because his father always bribed her with presents, and the next day he'll be going to other cities for the salesman for his job. So after that, when Catherine was around 6 years, his father was fired from his job and he left his job and they moved to Gary in Indiana, and she became a loner over there. Kind of, she was new to that place and she doesn't have anyone who she knows, but she was happy that her father was with her, and every weekend her father and her mother, they'll go on a beach, have a horseback riding for 1 hour 2 hours, and she enjoyed it a lot. But that enjoyment lost after her father lost his job again at Gary and they moved to a suburb of Chicago. There she started, it's like after 6 months she moved and it's middle of the school term, so she became loner again because she can't make any friends because everyone had a whole group and she can't go up to that tight knit group of every girl. Since it's a small children group, they will be like, we don't want you, you are a newcomer, we don't know you, so we don't want you with us. That was the situation. It went on for years. The financial situation grew downhill for her parents and for her family, and even for Chicago as well, because Chicago at that time, it was fully ruthless, I'll say. And she always wanted to be something more in her life because she grew up, and around 14 years she started seeing herself in the mirror and she wanted to be something else. Whenever her father and her mother fought, she'll walk 12 blocks away from her house, from her small tiny apartment, and she'll go to the beach. At this point in time, she had moved back to Chicago from the suburbs. She had moved up to the main Chicago area in a small tiny apartment with her father and mother. And there, whenever they fought, she will go over to the beach, she'll walk and she'll think that I want to be something, I want to be someone who will be remembered forever. I want to be someone that walked on the earth and that will always be remembered even after her death. That is what she wanted, and she soon after she became kind of the school witty girl. Everyone liked her remarks. She was nice. Before she was shy, she was getting bullied, but it all changed when she wrote a headline on the school newspaper about a school solo player. He was playing the trumpet. His name is Tommy, and the remark she had was, Tommy played the second half solo on the trumpet and he blew it, and that was funny for everyone. Next day, Tommy came, instead of being upfront and getting angry about it, he was like, hey, that was a funny remark. And she became famous after that, and she had assignments also. Even if she doesn't like the assignment of the literature, she'll just give a one liner, and the teacher will be like, that's witty. And instead of giving an essay, she gave a one liner, and the teacher gave her A because of the witty remark she gave it. And she became famous, and she is witty, she is intelligent, and she's all sorts of things. But one thing she hated was her mirror. Her mirror was her enemy. She hated it. She looks good, but not as good as the movie star she had in mind. She wanted to be that, but she is not someone who will be opening the door and they'll be like, hey, come up, you'll be the next star. So she's not like that. She wanted to be someone like that. Soon it went on, she had a fought with her mirror every day. She'll strike poses, different poses every day, and she won't be getting any positive image from her mirror. And she started reading books, she started doing lots of things to make herself pretty, but she didn't. And instead, it was around at 15 she saw that she, instead of having getting her mirror image more prettier, it's like she get a pimple on her forehead, a acne patch on her skin, and she was angry with herself. But soon it changes, and she started becoming pretty because it's adolescence and teenage, so it clears up and she's looking pretty. She is having this black long hair which is curly, uh, very pretty curvy body. And the book did reference she has a very big boobs, we know that, and it is referenced many times on the book as well, because she is proud of that. And she thought that she'll continue on with her studies, and but because of the financial situation, she always knew that one day she'll have to quit the school and she'll have to work as a secretary somewhere, or start earning for her father and mother, because her father lost his job and he had so many dreams. He was one of the, I think, if I'll phrase it, he was way ahead of his time. Idea, he had many different ideas, and which was way ahead of his time. And he had one of this idea where he want a rotating light, or a rotating advertisement, where it will rotate for different advertisement for different places. And that was way ahead of his time, and nobody liked his idea. That idea went down the drain. He had another idea, which was of having a shoemaker come to your home, and he is like, you have a shoebox, you take the shoebox, you take to your home, and it will be a at home service, which we have right now. So he was like, I'll be earning $20 a day. If it works perfectly, at 1 week I'll be earning $120 at a week. So if I get more money, if I get invest more, I'll have 2 trucks. In a year I'll have thousands of dollars. And so he loaned money from his brother who was living in Omaha, and he took out loan from him, and he started with the business. After a few months, that business went away, the truck went away, the shoemaker who was working with him, he flew away, he's nowhere to be found. So his ideas came on popping up, but it did not materialize, and the financial situation was very bad. So she had thought that she'll go back to working a job instead of continuing with her school. But she also had the idea that she'll be marrying somebody someday, and she wanted to marry someone who is remarkable, so that she will be remarkable as well. There is 2 guys who loved her, who adored her in her school, and one was shorter than her, and he was planning to be a lawyer in his father's firm, and the other was he wanted to be a dentist. And that was her prime, that was her 2 candidates for her marriage. Apart from that, she had a crush on Ron Peterson. He is the school bad boy, the football player. Everyone loved him, everyone liked him. He is on everyone's mouth, everyone liked to talk about him. But whenever she thought that she'll come up with a witty remark and seduce him on the hallway, she always get caught because she's shy and she doesn't want to talk to him. But she wants to talk to him, but she's shy and she couldn't get any words out of out of her mouth. And in the hallway they'll just pass by and she'll think that there he goes again, I can't do anything about it. So that went on for till her senior year, and on her senior year, sadly her mother died, and she wanted to remember the things, any fond memories of her mother, but instead of remembering her mother, she remembered how her dad was. He was a cheerful man who liked everything. He was childish. It's kind of like a child trapped in a old man's body, but she can see that it is getting diminished away every day. And before her mother died, he used to throw this lavish party on a hotel or a restaurant, and in there, because of the financial situation was bad, he will take one of the guests aside, he'll take money for him for the check and a lavish day. It always has to be lavish. But that, once her mother died, that everything went on to a halt. And her father's brother, who is from Omaha, along with his wife, they came and they showed his father, told him his father that, hey, if you come to Omaha, I'll get you a job, because his brother is doing well. He is in a vitamin supplier, logistics type of thing, and he was like, I'll get you a job, you will be stable over there, you'll be fine, so come work for me. And her father said, okay, I'll think about it. And his brother said that you have time till 6 tomorrow, because we'll be leaving at 6 and you'll have to let me know before that. That night, Catherine and her father thought about it, and he was like, Omaha, that's very tiny place, and I don't think they have a even decent barber shop over there. And she knew that the facade he was putting, it was for her, not for himself, it was for her. And she knew that he was trying to be jolly for her, but he couldn't hide it from her. So they decided they'll go. He called his brother that he'll come to Omaha, and next day Catherine decided that's it, that's the end. She applied for a scholarship in Northwestern University, and she hadn't heard from the university back, so she thought she didn't get the scholarship, so she'll go to Omaha with her dad. She went to the principal's office, and surprise, she got the scholarship. Before telling that she's quitting the school, the principal dropped her the news that you got a full scholarship along with your fees and your living arrangements. So she came back home, she told her father what happened that night, they talked about it, and everything was arranged. She'll go to the university, her father will go to Omaha, they'll work things out. That's what they had planned. And after 10 days, she said goodbye to her father. She dropped him off at the train station. That day she felt free, and she knew that she will continue and she'll have all the dreams, which she don't know what type of dream, but she know that what she want to do, she doesn't know, but she know that she want to be someone. She wants to be someone that will be remembered. So she joined university and she started going to college. She is witty. She got a job at a Roost that pays $15 a week, and that $15 is not giving her enough to enjoy any lavish or luxury items which she wants to buy. That's for her food and for her books, which will be required for the university. So that went on. She continued on with her university, and she is 19 at this point, and she is surprisingly withdrawn on one class, which is Latin. And at that point, she is hearing every girl in the university talk about having sex, that, oh, you went out with that guy, how is he? And another girl will comment, oh, you are going with him, don't even bother, he doesn't do anything, don't bother anything on him. And another will comment with, oh, you go out with him, that guy, he is very snide, and he doesn't need to have any brain, he will blow your brains out. That was the comments everyone is making, and Catherine thought she is the only virgin in the whole university, and everyone will be praying her as a Holy Mary, and she will be virgin for the rest of her life. She thought that, and every time she thought Ron will come up to her, and she had one chance where Ron was coming up to her, and it was like, "Hey, Catherine, Alexander," and she went, "Hi, Ron," and he was like, "What are the chances?" And it's good for me. And she was like, "Why is it good?" And he said, "I don't know any Latin, and you are great at Latin, so it's a great workout for both of us." And he was so excited about it, and she was excited about it. But guess what? It did not happen. It happened all in Catherine's head. And when Ron actually came up to her, he was like, "Hey," and trying to remember her name, and she gulped a big saliva down her throat, and she tried to remember her own name because her crush is walking up to her, and she's excited. And she said, "Catherine," and he was like, "Yeah, Catherine Alexander." And he was like, "Hi, nice to meet you." And she was like, "Hi." And she wanted to carry on the conversation, but he went out with, he looked at the blonde who was standing on the doorway, and he waved at her, and he went away without even closing the conversation. And she always had the dream of, at night she always had this fantasy that Ron will walk up to her and he'll undress her, she'll undress him, and he'll pick her up. Then the comical side of her will come up, and it will be like he broke his back and he fell down in hill ground, and Catherine will curse herself that you can't even do it right on your dreams. And she'll have this dream where Ron is a priest. Since she is a virgin, she'll be nun, and she's thinking that, do nun and have sexual urges, do they masturbate? And she's like, do the priest come up and have sexual fantasies? And she thought that they'll be in Paris, and Ron will come up to her. Ron will be a priest who she doesn't know he is an exact same copy of Ron. And the priest will come up and he will be like, "What are you doing here? I did not know you were here." And she'll go, "Oh, I'm so sorry, this pond looks so beautiful." And he'll come up to her and he'll say, "I know, I lied to you. I know you're here. I followed you. You are so pretty." And when he come forward to kiss her, he will stumble on his dress and he'll fall down the pond. That's how all of our fantasies goes out. It will have a big, enormous starting that will be very exciting. At the end, it will be ended with the comical side of Catherine. And she always wanted to lose her virginity right now because she is so pretty, and she thinks she knows she is pretty, she is witty. One day at the roost, every time she knows that Ron comes to the roost, and he sits on the far end corner of the roost, and he is always with the blonde girl. Her name is Jean. She is the only one girl who Catherine thinks is above her. She is more prettier than her, but the rest of the girls, Catherine can outwit them. Catherine is more beautiful than them, but only Jean, she is more prettier, and she thinks that she can't outsmart her. So one day she was hoping that she'll ask out Ron and everything, but she didn't have the courage. But one day when she was thinking, why is nobody asking me out, the answer came to herself when Jean talked to her. Jean was like, "Hey, Catherine, Jean was kind of bullying her. Don't be so stuck up, and don't be so two goody shoes every time. We know you are a lesbian." And she was like, "I am what?" And she's like, "Leave it. You are not my type." And anyway, and she went out, and she finally realized why no boys had talked to her, because everyone thought she is a lesbian on all the campus. And when she came back to her dorm that night, she thought about it, whether she is actually a lesbian or not. She did have fantasies. She did admire female teachers, but she thought about having sex, intertwining her body with another female that doesn't work out. She did not like that idea, and she was like, no, I'm normal. And that's when she decided she'll go out with Ron. She'll ask him out and she'll do the deed. She'll lose her virginity to him. And that's it. That's where I leave you with the first chapter. Thank you very much for listening to my stories. Bye.